Hi, my name is Marie. I like to make things and I like to turn around and show you how I made those things. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, you'll find out that sometimes I know what I'm talking about, sometimes I don't, but what I always have is the right tools to figure it out. So if you like to watch me figure things out and sometimes know what I'm doing, then subscribe. So today, you guys, we are going to make this beveled ring. Look at that. These are the features that I like about this ring. The raised bead is the one feature that I like. Look at it from the side. Look at that, look at that. Okay, not only that, I like the flattening of the bevel part. I like the wire wrapping on the sides, and what I absolutely love the most about this is how these wires, how these wires are wrapping this way, and then the other side comes out and it comes around, like it makes a little, almost like a weird like figure 8 type of thing. You know, with a regular ring, so you see how this regular ring right here, the sides of the rings are even, okay? But on this ring right here, the sides are not even. I like that because I'm not even. So I wanted to make it a little bit different for you guys than a regular ring that just looks like a regular ring. Let me show you the supplies that you're going to need for this. So what I'm going to use for this project though is 16 gauge brass. So I'm going to use this one, this brassy looking color, or you can use gold looking 16 gauge copper wire, 16 gauge copper wire. So either use the brassy kind or you can use the rose kind, the rose gold kind that they have, and then regular gold or brassy. I want this brassy look on that. So I'm going to put that there for my supplies, okay? You do your supplies, I'll do my supplies. Then we're going to need some 24 gauge copper wire. I'm using gold because you're not going to be able to see it too much. So I'm using that to string on our bead. Now, millimeters, I am terrible at millimeters, but I kind of feel like this might be a 6 millimeter bead. It's just a regular size bead. It's nothing crazy, but then it's not as small as an E bead and definitely not as small as a C bead. So I know it's about like 6 millimeter, okay? Let's say we could do this with 6 to 8 millimeter beads, okay? We're gonna need our pliers. I'm gonna be using Bead Smith's looper pliers, which has 6 sizes of loops on it. Then we're gonna need a chain nose and our flush cutters. Oh my God, our flush cutters, good gracious. Then we're gonna need a chasing hammer, and I have 2 different types of anvils. I like this anvil because it's just so cute. Look at this cute little thing. Would you look at this cute little thing? I got this years ago on Amazon, years ago. I hope I can find it for you guys. If I can find it, it will be in the description box below. But I love this little thing because it's so it's so portable. I got that one as an anvil, and then you can also use just they call it a block. It's just a steel block, and so if you're doing something that's flat, this is good, but we're gonna be doing a ring, which has this little rounded part on it and it's flat on the top. So that makes it easy for us to flatten some pieces that are rounded like a ring. And also we're gonna need our ring mandrel. I have my ring mandrel held on to my desk with a vise, so it's out of the way, and then I can move it over if I need it. So I'm gonna set these aside. But before we get started, I would like to tell you a little bit about our sponsors for this video. This video is sponsored by Creative Fabrica. Do you see these earrings in my ears here? Well, I do have a video on this. You can search all you want in my YouTube playlist, but you're not gonna find it. Sorry. But it is available on Creative Fabrica. What is Creative Fabrica? Well, let me tell you. Have you ever started a project? You're like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do this really cool project. And you looked all over for the perfect font, the perfect PNG, the perfect digital asset to use, and you can't find it, or it's an arm and a leg. Well, that's where Creative_Fabrica comes in. They have a database of fonts, digital assets, PNGs, JPEGs, and me. Yes, me. They have content creators like myself giving exclusive tutorial classes you will find nowhere else. Through the link in my pinned comment or in the description box below, you will receive your first month access for just $1. And then the months after, it'll be a discounted $19. That is a 35% discount compared to the regular price of $29. I mean, really? How better can it get? Oh, it gets better. That membership gives you access to 3 million plus high quality classes, fonts, graphics, JPEGs, any other creative resources you might need. You can cancel at any time, no obligation, and best of all, you get more of me. Yay! Again, click the link in my pinned comment and in the description box below to receive your first month of all access subscription for just $1 at Creative_Fabrica. Again, thank you Creative_Fabrica for having me on board and for sponsoring this video. Yay! So now we are going to take our whatever 16 gauge wire you decided on. I'm taking my brassy color. And so what I'm going to do is create a nice little loop. Now, when I'm doing this loop, I don't know the size of the loop that I need. So make sure you have your bead on hand to test out the loop that you do make, okay? So I'm gonna make a loop using my little Beadsmith loopers. This might be a little bit too big. I can tell if the bead just goes right through the hole. I'm going to go down a size. And if my bead sits on top, then we know we got the right loop. We got our first little loop. Now from here, it's up to you whether you want to smash this now. Let's just smash this now, okay? You're gonna hear me smashing it, but I'm not gonna smash it on my table because this is tile. We're not doing that here, okay? So I'm gonna smash it behind me somewhere, okay? All right. You can't really tell, but it's just for aesthetic purposes, for when you're looking at it real close and stuff. So I got a smash loop here. I'm gonna check my bead again. It's kind of sitting in there now, so I might squish it up a little bit. Now the thing about smashing your wire, and the reason why I do it, is because when you smash it, I asked my husband about this, and he thinks this is what it is. You know, the molecules in the wire are all spaced out. He says when you smash it, you're going like this with it. This is how he explained it. Don't shoot the messenger. He says you're smashing it together, and therefore you're making it tighter, and you're making it so that the metal is hard to move, and therefore making it stronger. He seems like a really smart guy. When he said it to me, I said, that does make a lot of sense. So I don't know, comment below. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I kind of feel like he's onto something here. So, you know, it's really tight where you could tell like it's hard to bend it. It's really strong. So now I'm gonna take this wire and wrap it around our ring mandrel at the size that we want. Now, what I found when I did this, I wanted a size 6. So if I want a size 6, for some reason, when I went down a size, it worked better. I don't know, but we're gonna do it. So I went down a size. If I want a size 6, I'm going down to size 5, okay? So I'm bending it around my ring mandrel. And I'm going past where I want it to be, okay? So that's what we have so far. Okay, just to make it easier on myself, I'm giving myself extra wire. I'm just gonna cut it off. We won't be wasting too much, but I'm just cutting it off. It's just easier that way. So, see, even though I am going down to size 5, it's still, when I go down to size 6, it's still fitting on there, but a little tight. I can like feel it a little tight. So what I'm feeling like is I'm starting to bend the wire with my hand just to get it in the general direction. And I know exactly where I want to have this loop going, okay? So I'm gonna start bending it. Believe it or not, what if I can bend this with my hand? Okay, so I got a general bend. I'm doing this so that I wanna make sure that it's in the general area of where I want it to be with the 6 size. Okay. So I know that I'm gonna do this a little bit tighter. So I got my 2 loops are on top of each other now, okay? Then I'm gonna stick my pliers in there, find the one that I used to make the loop, the original loop. And so I'm going to stick my pliers in there in both loops at the same time. And I'm gonna pull the wire with my chain nose just to get it a nice little bend. So I'm just bending it, creating this little pendant, creating this little bevel circle. And I have extra wire. We know we have extra wire because I cut it. And so I'm bending it into shape so that it can go over top of this one. Moving it around, loosening it. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this wire really quick just to give myself some space. Woo! Make sure you hold it in your hand between your fingers like this. There you go. So I'm gonna take my chain nose now and I'm gonna start shaping this even more. Using my chain nose combination and the other wire. So now I have 2 loops on top of each other. This one seems a little wonky, so I'm going to take my loopers again. I'm gonna separate them so that I'm separating the 2 halves so that they are not interfering with each other. So there you go. So I'm shaping it up a little bit. You see how this one's coming this way and this one's going this way. Put it back onto my, look at that, it's a size 6. So it's somewhat, see, it's still larger than I want it to be, but that's okay. So squeezing it, I'm using my finger as a ring mandrel. So there you go. We got our shape. This one might be a little bit more dramatic than the one that I did originally on live. It might be a little dramatic. I don't know. Is it? Let's put them together. I don't know. Is it a little dramatic? I don't know. It might be a little bit more dramatic, but I don't really care. I don't care. So put on my ring mandrel. Just to look at it. Yeah, it's a little bit more dramatic. I kind of like this one too. But if you want it to be less dramatic, all you have to do is just pull these out a little straighter. I'll do that a little bit just for you guys. Pull these out a little straighter, holding your loops at the same time, and don't stab yourself with your pliers that are blunt. Okay, size 6. So once you have your pendant, and I flattened the bottom loop, so that these 2 can lay on each other without interfering with each other. So now I'm just shaping it up. Just doing a little shape. Let's take our little bead and some wire. I would say about 2, yeah, take 3 inches of wire. It makes it a little bit easier. hold it in your hand so it's not flopping everywhere. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one side of this wire right here, and I am going to start wrapping it down this side. Okay. And then we're going to smash it down. Okay. But I want to take this and push it and make sure that it is as close to the middle as possible. That way you are not wasting wire or losing wire when you do that. Okay. And if it seems to move, smash it down a little bit more. Okay. So now we have this piece of wire just hanging out there. Now I'm going to string on the bead. Boom. Look at that. So it's sitting in, and you see how this is moving a little bit? That's when this wire is going to lock it into place, okay? So now I'm going to make sure the bead is in its resting place where you want it to be. And then you're going to take your end wire, just like I did with the braided bead ring. I'm securing my bead in my hand and make sure I'm securing it to the ring itself so it's not moving all around. And I'm pulling this middle just to make sure I have as much wire as I can work with. And I'm going to start wrapping around the other side of the ring. Okay. And I could do that with my hand. And I'm making sure that the loops are laying next to each other and not on top of each other. Okay. That's how you start to get your nice professional looking rings and making it look as neat as possible, because when it starts to look unneat or messy, nobody want that. Okay. So I'm using this motion because this is the way I was wrapping it. And so I'm going to put my needle nose right on the wire wrapping that I was just wire wrapping, these loops, and I'm going to push them in that direction. And what that's doing is tightening it. Yep, sure is. And I got this little end here that might scratch us later. Make sure you smash that down. And just like that, folks, we have our ring. And there we go. So let me grab the other one so we can compare them. I think they're pretty close. What if you can, like, oh snap, if you make two of them, look at that. Look how that looks together. You guys, look at that. Oh my goodness. I love when I discover something as I'm doing a video. That looks amazing. Make two of them, okay? And you can have this wet. If you want it to always look like this, you can always go to the bottom part right here and wrap some wire around that to keep them together and make them a full, you know what? We're gonna do that. I'm gonna take about, like, let me see, this might be like 5 or 6 inches of wire, of 24 gauge wire, right? I'm even gonna do it while it's on me. I could put it on a ring mandrel, but you know how I be. So I'm gonna take this, go underneath without stabbing myself. There you go. Let me look at it again. I want it to lock it in this position. So I'm going to take these two, I'm going to squeeze it together and pull one side and pull the other side, pull them in different directions. Then I'm going to pull this ring off. Let me put it on my ring mandrel real quick. Okay, so I have these tightened together here. I'm putting it on my ring mandrel just to get a gauge, and I'm going to turn it around. Now, not too long ago, I took and made a little hole into my favorite ring mandrel, and I did that because I wanted to be able to wrap using the ring mandrel without it scraping and cutting all over the ring mandrel and making it like unsmooth, but I also want to have a little space so that I can wrap it without getting the wire snagged and have enough room to work with. Maybe it's going to work this time. So I'm just checking to see how the beads are laying. Wait, I think one bead is over top of the other. Oh shoot, one ring is on top of the other. It's not very smooth. There it is. Okay. All right, so now that I have them in the positions that I want them to be, I'm holding it with my hand. I don't have to see it. I know that it's in that right position. So I'm going to use the concept of this ring mandrel space and start wrapping this around, okay? All right, let's try one side first. All right, so once I got those couple of loops on there, I'm just gonna take it off my ring mandrel, starting with one side first. I'm gonna start wrapping that around. There we go. All right, so I got one side wrapped down. Now I'm going to start on the other side of this wire, start wrapping that down now, going in the opposite direction, because that's how science works. You go one side, that direction, you go the other side, the opposite direction. Okay, pulling as tightly as I can to secure it in place. And look at this. Okay, looks good, still looking good. And I'm smashing too the loops as I go. If you want to do this concept, it's up to you how much of the wire you're going to wrap around there, but I'm going to stop here. Okay, and I'm going to cut one side first, smash it down. Okay, now I'm going to cut the other side. There we go. Okay. Look at that. Oh wait, you should never put your ring on after you've done wire wrapping it. You should never put your ring on first. You should put it on the mandrel first, just to give it its shape back, because you're messing with the shape of it. Okay. And there we go. I lock these rings into position. Wow, that's crazy. So you have two choices of rings for this video. You have this version or this original version. Y'all. So again, I would like to thank our sponsors for this video. I also would like to thank you guys for tuning in to my lives on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also want to bring your attention to my merch. Again, I am wearing my crop top. I have like 3 of these and I have them in all different sizes. Like if I want it to be really, really airy, I got a bigger size. And then if I want, this right here is an extra large. So I want it to be very airy and breezy and such. And I did some scarves, Monstera leaf scarves on Redbubble. They should still be there. I'll put them in the description box below, but I did this scarf. I don't know if you can see the Monstera leaf pattern on it, but it's there somewhere. But yeah, I like this scarf as an added little spicer upper thing. I don't know what I'm talking about as usual. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. And oh, what's the next video? I feel like I want to get more on a schedule of life to be able to say in my video, what is the next video? I love Monstera leaves. I mean, this one's a Monstera leaf. This is on my website also. But I made these wire Monstera leaves. I'll put it at the top of this video. This side or that side? Probably that side. And I made this wire Monstera leaf, wire wrapped. And so I took that base and I decided that I was going to wrap it with some regular beads. No, I decided I was going to wrap it with some seed beads and some 24 gauge copper wire, and this is the result. Oh my goodness. I am so in love with this earring. I don't think you guys understand. In love. So I think that this is going to be our next video. What I'm going to do and what I'm going to ask you is, after you watch this video and you're like, oh, I want to get prepared for the next video that's coming out after this, look at that video that I linked up top of my screen. Get your wire ready, make your little Monstera leaf outline. Then we are going to wrap this with beads, and then I'm going to teach you again how to make this earring wire. Okay, so that's what the next video is about. I'm very excited about it because it's something that I will be wearing like every day. I've already wore it and people are like, oh, and I was like, what? And they're like, your earrings, where'd you buy them? And I'm like, I love that. That is why I am giving you guys the tools, the understanding, and the skills to be able to make jewelry where people say, where can I buy that? That is my gift to you because I love you guys so much. Dear. I love you guys. My makeup's good? It's not running? Okay, we're good. So I really love you guys. So that's why I give you these skills to pay the bills, right? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.